history buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Freedom of our future.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
To the encampment for freedom of our future.
For liberty. This is what American patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is robbed by. Secure our liberty. My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
Welcome to my colonial home. Today, Del Payne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence. And our freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Hour is late. We must enact. To the encampment for liberty. Soldiers, the enemy is near. Front line, flaming!
Have officially broken bad. Recently, a married mother of 3 young children was grappling with postpartum psychosis. Not just depression, but psychosis. She was committed to a psych ward for a brief stay, but she lied her way out of it and made her way back home. When her husband left the house to go get food, she took her 3 young babies into the basement, lined them up, and one by one, wrapped an exercise band around their neck and strangled them to death. Now, strangulation is very difficult, even with a toddler. It takes a lot of force and a lot of time. It's a very intimate way to kill somebody, which is probably why she turned the kids face down as she did it. She didn't have to watch the life drain out of their panicked eyes as she choked them out. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to choke a toddler to death, so the third child had to stand there and watch their siblings die for about 10 minutes before it was their turn. After Mama had finished killing all of her kids, she promptly went upstairs, slashed her own wrist, jumped out the second floor window to off herself. Well, the snow outside cushioned her fall, the cold slowed her vitals, so she merely fractured her spine, paralyzing her, but she ultimately survived. When her husband came home with dinner, he called out for the kids and his wife. Nobody answered. He went upstairs thinking maybe she was bathing the kids. When he got to the bedroom, he saw blood splattered everywhere and the window wide open. To his horror, he saw his wife on the ground outside paralyzed. He asked where the kids were, and his heart sank when she murmured, "In the basement." He was on the phone with 911 when he discovered his dead babies. So there's a recording of his screams as he turned over his dead children, seeing their blue faces and their eyeballs nearly bursting from the sockets. The man naturally moved far away in a desperate attempt to reset his life somehow, and his wife is on trial for murder. And women on TikTok are supporting her. Go ahead, look around if you dare. You will see hundreds of psychotic women supporting Lindsay Clancy, blaming the husband.
All right, he did it. Patrick did it.
Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty.
He did it. He did it.
Patrick's the one who did it. Not Lindsay. Patrick did it.
Lindsay Clancy's birth chart. Just following all their birth charts and birthdays and zodiac signs.
I've already gone over the forensic astrology charts that show that the perpetrator is a male.
Women typically don't strangle.
I'm telling you all right now, when the South Node goes into Cancer,
He's a Gemini man.
They poison or drown them.
I can't wait for this man to be humbled and for karma to do its thing.
Donald Trump.
Because of course, in this dystopian social media era, everything is a conspiracy. Nothing is real, bad things don't happen, every real story is just fed slop. The real story is some convoluted, nefarious plot by the Jews.
What? That's so crazy.
Whatever the opposite of Occam's razor is, that's TikTok. We have lost our damn minds. I really think that COVID fried people's brains and that they've simply never recovered. We were gaslit to hell, of course. Dr. Tony Fauci, funded the development of the virus. He lied about the lab leak.
So it came from a wet market in the same place where there's this huge lab that does all the kind of development of exactly what this thing is. That's some coincidence.
They lied about the threat to kids. They locked everyone down.
I wear a mask to school. I wear a mask to school.
It was like some horrendous globalized Stanford prison experiment. Our institutions completely eviscerated their own reputation and dignity. Gavin Newsom locked us down and then had a fancy dinner with friends at the French Laundry. The science told us that if you went paddleboarding alone in the middle of the ocean, you needed to be arrested for killing grandma. But of course, if you riot with 500,000 people, that's totally fine because viruses take a time out when it comes to social justice. Our institutions so thoroughly destroyed any credibility that they ever had, and frankly, they don't deserve that trust anymore. But we've devolved into a buffoonish, low-trust society where now people see conspiracy and malice in literally every corner of human life. Nothing is real, but everything is real. But beyond that is something darker. It's not just that we've allowed ourselves to believe the craziest things. It's not that we've just jettisoned our critical thought. We've lost our humanity. Look at the animals who people are now celebrating openly. Luigi Mangione shot a healthcare CEO in the back and communists celebrated him. Women openly gushed over him and still do. Even as he's pled guilty, they still simp for him. Now, I know women have always been crazy. All famous murderers get love letters in prison, so it's not exactly a new phenomenon. But we can have a discussion about daddy issues another time. That's not what this is. This is something more sinister. What explains the outpouring of love for the mom who strangled her kids? Why are people trying so hard to exonerate her? When some criminal migrant masturbates in front of children at a public beach, the dads rightfully beat the shit out of him. But a woman suffering with suicidal empathy intervenes to protect and comfort that child sex offender? When you see an invasion of Spain, you see a woke woman gleefully waving the invaders in. Is this what matriarchy looks like? Where this kind of suicidal empathy that exploits the noble virtue of unconditional maternal compassion and perverts it towards the criminal dregs of society? All because wokeness now supersedes all normal virtue? We've heard that expression, it's a face that only a mother can love. I know I always heard it. We all know that unconditional maternal love, that superpower that God imbued in our mothers to make sure they loved us, irrationally loved us, so they didn't toss us into the damn river as babies when we're crying all night long for months on end. Their maternal love must supersede all reason and normal emotion in order to make sure that they can even make it through. But now that irrational love isn't pointed at our own vulnerable children. It's been reallocated towards whatever group the algorithm has designated as the vulnerable class. Criminal migrants, drug addicts on the street, any and all of the worst cretins of the planet get full feminine favor and protection as long as they're not the ultimate Satan, the white male. The hijacking of the maternal instinct didn't start with social media. It goes way back to 1995 when she watched Dead Man Walking as a teenager. When that film planted the seed that vile criminals deserve her heartfelt tears.
Don't execute this man. You can stop this from happening, sir.
Then Dexter injected it with steroids. This is the prolonged conditioning that accelerated with the ascendance of the Byronic hero. We got so cute with finding redeeming qualities in irredeemable villains. Gone are the days of the true bad guy. Now, the cinematic vanguard is in love with finding the humanity in the bad guy, telling the sympathetic origin story. Our parents had superheroes. We have anti-heroes.
You're goddamn right.
Breaking Bad was so brilliant, but it made us cheer on a narcissistic, murderous, criminal drug kingpin who destroyed his family over money. When Tim Burton did Batman, the Joker was a lunatic. But now the Joker gets his own movie where he's the hero, and the climax of the film is him murdering the orderlies at the asylum. The arts dog-walked us here over decades, with films and television that inverted the paradigm of normal virtue. Cops are the bad guys, outlaws are the heroes, and man, do you see that manifesting in reality today. Scrolling through Mommy Sleuth TikTok is an exercise in pure insanity. Whatever this woke social media blob has done to the modern mind, it's gone far beyond internet sleuthing, and it's spawned an entire generation of hollow-out, depraved crazies. What about all the goblins celebrating the communists who shot Charlie Kirk? You have insane influencers making a fortune off shamelessly exploiting his death, tying themselves in knots with the most convoluted Rube Goldberg bullshit explanations to try and deny something we all saw in 4K and wish we didn't didn't. It was an exploding mic.
And he had a rigged microphone.
And they timed it precisely to the millisecond with the fake gunshot from the patsy.
The shaped charge was actually supposed to hit him in the chest.
There were Jews hiding under the grass. It was French special forces. Just the craziest, most unhinged shit imaginable. And people believe it. Anything but what actually happened. Anything but the most obvious, straightforward explanation. The woke communists you saw on camera who have prints on the rifle killed an anti-communist leader because communists are violent lunatics. That's it. We have a communist violence problem, but psychos on the internet have made an entire cottage industry around denying and exploiting it.
We're not morons.
But what's so much worse than these crazy conspiracies is how it drives people to abandon their basic human decency. It goes from just asking questions to demonizing a grieving widow, celebrating her husband's violent death. It's so much worse than just absolving the actual murderer and trying to sabotage the trial. These people have a bloodlust. What have you become when you celebrate an assassination like this? I don't care what your politics are. This was a father, a loving husband. You know, I was in DC in an interagency meeting when that communist shot Charlie. I was there advocating for the Palisades, trying to get things done to help us rebuild when everyone's phones started buzzing. Now, I never knew Charlie, but some of the president's cabinet members were with us, agency heads, people who were friends with Charlie and had worked with him for years, and they were devastated. It was one of the most grotesque and shocking moments I've ever seen in American history, but the reactions that followed were far more grotesque and reveal a sad report on where we are as a country. Teachers mocking his death, drag queens putting on assassination fashion shows. Who are these demons? What have we allowed ourselves to become? We have been so thoroughly demoralized, I fear that we can't get any lower.
Disclaimer.
These things have fried
The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Kamal.
And I'm Average Female Debater. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited. I met Average Female Debater on one of Fatty's Untouchables panels. So excited to have a logical female voice tonight. We were supposed to have more men, but y'all, I think the men are really just Lindsay Clancy fatigued. So I'm going to need men to pick up the phone and call us. Okay. I mean, we have Kamal, but Kamal can't just hold it down alone. 407-602-8114. Again, 407-602-8114. We are accepting calls. Please star 671 calling so your number's not on the screen. But yeah, we're taking calls all night long. That was a very long intro. Basically, y'all saw, in that intro, Kamal, he's from your neck of the woods. He ran for mayor, didn't win, unfortunately. He did a nice speech. He's saying the conspiracies are getting out of control. What's your thoughts on everything you heard, Kamal? Because you're the most apolitical person probably on our team.
Ain't that Spencer Pratt? That was him, right?
Spencer Pratt. Mm-hmm.
Hey, shout out to Fat Beavis, bro. You were talking a goddamn long time, though. Jesus Christ. Some of the shit he was saying was just outlandish. You feel me? Some of it I do feel I'm like, okay, but most of the shit I'm just like, come on, bro. This my whole thing about it though. ABG, don't be upset, but the white women crazy. All right, y'all great fundraisers, but god damn. But as soon as I was like, man, these white women crazy. Then we get a trans white woman, Candace Owens, right up on screen. God damn,
Candace,
right?
Investigation.
This is my thing though, and I don't know if you're gonna play it, Nora, but we did play it yesterday. At first, I was kind of like, well, I still kind of wanted to kind of go to jail and I like throw away the key or whatever. But I do think she's in cahoots with her ex-husband Patrick, because for him to lie about the whole phone call thing, about like, yeah, she was like speaking cool and blah blah blah, and the police was like, no, she was incoherent, she wasn't really speaking, and it's like, why would bro lie about that shit? And it comes to find out that he got a lot of civil cases going on. And if she found not guilty, cha-ching, he getting a lot of money.
Oh, really? Yeah, because she admitted to it. I mean, there are literal females that we know, people we know, Kamal, and I'm not going to say who, that literally believe he did it, that he was sitting there putting voices in her head. AVG, I'm going to let you have the floor after this, but I have to show you how some of these women think. I mean, I know you've probably seen it, but our fans may not have. This is how they're thinking. This is what they think. Yeah, let me play the clip for you.
Further on into her travels, I am completely overwhelmed trying to take care of the kids. I'm drowning every day. I feel guilty that I'm spending my family's money and not making any. I feel like
you turn it up as low as hell.
That, right?
No, that's as loud as it can go.
Getting sick. He's a sick baby. A sick baby is miserable. He's sick now with a double ear infection. Clearly has a bellyache. It's miserable. I feel like the other kids are going to get him sick all winter long. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
I always feel strongly against sleep training. I feel like it's abusive to let the baby cry and not respond, but I made the decision. I did it with Cal. It is way too much crying. It's incredibly stressful. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
He's okay. He will be okay. It's not harmful in any way. The doctor said it was okay. Plenty of people sleep train their kids at that age. It's necessary as a third child, is what she wrote, right?
Correct.
I feel incredibly sad and guilty about not breastfeeding anymore. That was the one thing I could do to help his immune system, and I can tell he really doesn't like the formula. I'm very sad about this. I know at this time it's what I needed to do for my mental health. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
And then the statement started getting smaller and smaller as time went by. One occasion, it's like I'm desperate to get a mental break from taking care of everyone. My mind is trying to make something physically wrong with me. My mind never shuts off. It's constantly thinking of the next thing. So,
all right, AVG, I heard enough of the lies. Tell me your thoughts. Are you a mother, AVG?
No, I don't have any children. But that doesn't mean I can't sympathize for this situation. I think it's absolutely horrendous. And the fact that women are comparing, just daily struggles with motherhood. And, it's not an easy feat from what I've seen. I have a stepsister that has multiple children. And I also basically helped raise my brother. My brother is much younger than me. He's 8 years younger. There's definitely going to be tough days. I don't think that gives somebody carte blanche to go and compare yourself to a woman who unalived her children in cold blood with an exercise band. That's just baffling to me. It's either a desperate attempt for clout seeking that they're doing this and making these comparisons, or they legitimately feel this way. I don't know which one is more concerning, probably the latter, but only by a small margin.
Well, ABG, this is what they think, a lot of them. They think the husband was putting voices in her head and made her think she did it. And then he did it. He went and did his errands, threw her out the window, then came back and said, and faked. I mean, I cannot wait till they release the 911 call, because I heard it is gut wrenching. There's somebody, a journalist who I personally know. I met her when I went to the Diddy trial. She's very legit. She's very somebody I trust. And she said it was the worst thing she's ever heard. I mean, there's no acting with this guy. The guy literally found his kids on the ground. Like, you can't act that. I've seen acting. You guys can go watch this documentary. That's out on Netflix right now. And that was acting. It's The Preacher's Wife, or The Dead Preacher's Wife, something to that effect. But this was not acting. I mean, what do you think to women that say that, the conspiracy theorists?
That they think that he was doing some kind of psychobabble on her where she... Yeah. I mean, how can we ever really determine that? But I think it's at best highly speculative. I've seen some of the evidence. I know that he, said that he forgives her and that he's trying to basically help her, get off so they can pursue these civil charges, which I believe are against doctors and other authorities that have overprescribed her. Am I correct in that? Yeah, and I
That's what
understand
Jamal
that.
was saying. He thinks that they're in cahoots because she gets off, then, okay, well, now we have reasonable insanity. And so it'll be good for his civil cases.
Yeah, possibly. I don't do criminal law, but like obviously, if she's behind bars, it's a lot more difficult to lead multiple civil suits. At least from her perspective, he could probably do most of the heavy lifting, but I don't know how that works in terms of her getting a monetary award if she's incarcerated. It'd probably be just in his name.
She not gonna get it though. He leading the shit suing the hospitals for negligence and shit. So he's leading all the civil cases, and it most definitely is gonna get the cha-ching. You feel me? So
yeah,
she needs money on the books. She needs money on the books. I mean, she's never, let me be clear. I don't think she's ever going to get out. If she gets off, unless they say like not guilty, like she's never getting out. Like they're going to commit her to somewhere.
Yeah. I would have a hard time believing that she'll just simply get incarcerated or, get the, which state is she? I don't think that she would be eligible. Yeah, she's not eligible then for the unalivement penalty, but I think they'll probably put her in an insane asylum because that seems to be a lot of the case that they've led, that she's been over medicated and that she's been suffering from like these psychotic break moments. She's been hearing voices. To put a person like that in just standard jail probably isn't happening.
Well, I read some of the reports, and again, people that I trust, they're saying she was never diagnosed prior to this with psychosis. This psychosis is a new thing. So I don't understand how women are dying on the sword for this person. She never had psychosis. She had postpartum depression, but not psychosis.
But Nora, are you surprised at women dying on this hill?
Yes, we're surrounded by idiots, honestly. I don't know what else to say. We are surrounded by idiots. I mean, because and I also think men have treated women so bad. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. And I know men are not going to like that, but men have treated women so bad that they are looking at this as revenge for whatever man fucked them over. Your baby daddy, your father, your husband. I think the person that made a great you. Women hate men. And I think that's why these women are doing this. Because I've listened to some of these women talk and they say how much trauma they've been through. And I believe they've been through trauma, but I think they're projecting onto, what's the guy's name? The husband. Clancy.
Patrick Clancy.
Patrick. Yeah.
I'm going to kind of take a middle of the road thing there. I sure, obviously women have had some difficult moments with men in their lives and but I think the main thing is the feminist mindset that has corrupted women against men and made it a really like a battle of the sexes, so to speak. I'm not denying that, women have had bad experiences with men. Everybody has, I suppose, in some capacity had a bad experience with the opposite sex. But I think feminism does a lot of the heavy lifting on this.
Well, what is feminism? Feminists hate men. They don't like men.
Those are misandrists.
Well, these women, when you listen to them speak, they hate men. They are filled with hate with men. They will tell you they were raped by their father, their daddy, by all these people, and they're filled with anger because they've been hurt by men. And I'm not saying it's all men's fault. I'm just saying the reason the women that are supporting her, I believe they are filled with hate for men. When you listen to a lot of them speak, the ones that went out there, they got the pink shirts on, they have all these trauma stories, and people are trying to say they secretly hate their kids. I've read that. That might be it too. But I think they're angry with men.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'm going to play this other clip and then I'll get Mia in here. This is a divorce attorney and this is what he had to say.
100%. I've already been consulting with some men in custody cases where their baby mama has been doing the solidarity hold a heart thing with the Lindsay Clancy stuff, and he's like, hey, this woman's got all kinds of former depressive issues, she's had self-harm issues, this now is evidence and validation that I have of that fact. Concern based upon prior allegations with no evidence, but allegations of hitting the kids. And so, yeah, we're going to go and swing for the fences, and we're going to try to strip this woman from having visitation rights. I want to be able to have a forensic psychiatrist interview this woman, just see just how wackadoodle she is. And we're going to use her TikTok posts.
All right, Mia. So what do you think about that? There's a lot of men that are breaking off engagements. They're talking about taking away their kids. I mean, over the weekend, we saw a woman who was, I don't know want to say she was inspired by this, but 3 of her baby's throats, 2 of which died, 1 of was alive, and there's a man holding his baby. So what's your thoughts?
Hold on. So she may have potentially been inspired by like the Lindsay Clancy, or it just happened to come at, I mean, so much stuff happens after like certain shit happens.
I mean, it was this weekend. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, same, Lindsay, same. I don't know. I mean, did she post the video? I don't know. I don't want to say all that, but this was revenge to her husband. They were going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And she split 2 of the kids, and the one was alive. It was sick. It was disgusting. But these are the mental capacity, I think, of some of these women. This is the state that they're in.
Yeah, I'm not super shocked. A lot of people divorce. Who you marry is not who you divorce. Who you marry is not who you divorce. And I'm not shocked that any woman or any man, men do this all the time. They will go in and they will murder their kids and leave the wife or almost ex-wife alive, so she knows what they did. Happens all the time. I'm not surprised. I'm a little disheartened that people are like breaking off engagements and like potentially ruining their lives or their love life over a case. Like, it's okay. We can agree to disagree, bro. It's not that big of a deal. It is not that deep. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to see eye to eye on everything. We can have respectful discourse and just understand that maybe we're just not going to see this the same way. And that's cool. I don't think women should be like unaliving their children or leaving their husbands. And I don't think husbands should be leaving their wives or breaking off engagements over some shit. Because at the end of the day, like, none of us are going to prison for Lindsay, right? Like, I'm not going to prison for her. You're not going to prison for her. Like, nobody's going to the insane asylum for her. I mean, it really has nothing to do with us. We're bystanders looking into the box and seeing what happens. So it's crazy that people would like implode their whole lives and like destabilize their children's lives over a case. And I mean, it's crazy to me. I would never do something like that. Like, if we don't agree, that's cool. No water under the bridge. Like, I'm going to keep it moving. It's crazy that people are taking it this serious.
But I will say this though, as a man, if I hear a woman agrees and back Lindsay Clancy that supposedly killed her kids, I'm divorcing that woman too. Get her the fuck out my area, please.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
I'm telling my son, if you ever meet a chick that says she's cool with this, no, don't bring her home. Don't be bringing no grandbabies to me. Don't even lay up with her. I agree with these men. Get away from her. And if you have kids with a chick like that, call CPS. I'm sorry. It's just facts. Especially little babies, maybe teenagers.
I guess I'm a little bit more nonchalant about it. I mean, I'm not taking this case personal. I don't take it personal. My husband and I agree a little bit, and then we disagree on certain parts, but I'm not like gonna throw away like 16 years of my life because there are certain parts or certain aspects that we don't agree on and certain aspects that we like do agree on. I don't know. I guess I'm just more blasé about it. And I'm not gonna ruin my life. Like, I'm not gonna ruin my life over some stuff. Cause this feels like, back in 2020 when we were going through like the whole alphabet stuff, it was like a social contagion. Like, everybody was this way or everybody felt this way and everybody got on the bandwagon. It kind of feels like that, where in 6 months it's going to die down and people hopefully will like come to their senses.
Well, let's put in perspective. Thank you. Let's put in perspective, right? Let's say you find out that, I don't know if you're married or not, but like you find out that the man that you're in a relationship with is doing TikTok posts about a man that's recently been incarcerated for like assaying and IPVing his wife on the regular. And he says, bitches are they need to get a good smack. And if you want to have your way with them, you should do that. And he's like, same. And he's doing all these like TikTok reels and stuff. Would you leave that man?
I definitely would have a lot of questions and be like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing here? I would definitely have some questions and be like, is this for clout? Like, are you making money off this? Because at the end of the day, like, we also got to remember, this is a revenue stream for a lot of people. So everything is smoke and mirrors, and most of this stuff is fake. Because you understand, the more wild people act, the more views they get, the more, even if the comments are negative, it still hits the algorithm and it still keeps it churning. So you also I take what I see on social media with a grain of salt because Nora knows. We know mad fake people. Nora and I have said to each other multiple times, like, we are the realest people we know, because we know so many fake people who present one way, and then next thing you know, like, they have family that's like, let's just say a lot of people are fake. How people
a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like, we know somebody who is a black supremacist, for example. That's the best way I can put it. And his kids are half white.
Yes.
That's an example.
I mean, but if you were to listen to this person talk, you would be shocked, because I was shocked to find out that the children were like biracial, like white biracial, like white black biracial. Like, I was taken aback because of the way this person presents themselves, and they talk for hours on end on live stream. It's like a KKK person going home and having a black wife. It is mind boggling, because some of these people are that fake. So I think too, when it comes to that stuff, I guess I would have to have a conversation, because am I in on this joke? Are we chasing that paper because gas is $5 a gallon? Or is this how you actually feel? I had to throw it in because gas is $4 a gallon. I just got gas on my way home.
I'm jealous, me. My gas over here almost $6 goddamn dollars. But let me ask. I think I might be wrong, but I think AVG was asking more if not your husband or whoever you with is the content creator, but agrees with a content creator that be on this type of time. Let's just up the content about the nigga a peafowl. And it's a peafowl content creator, like, yeah, I like touching the little ones over here and blasey. And then your husband is like, share, repost. Hey, have you seen EDP 545? Like, hey, I'm agreeing with all that shit. What's up? What about then?
So if that is the case where he's like liking, reposting, sharing, he wouldn't be my husband. He'd be dead. He'd be dead. If you are sharing, liking, and reposting a pedophile, you'd be dead. Like, in my mind, you'd be dead, because I would never trust you didn't touch my children, so I would just kill you. And I have the acreage to hide your body. I would just kill you. He'd be here and gone the next. Here, that's why he don't have social media. He don't have no social media for that reason, because it's like, nah. So I understand why people are like, I suppose I understand why people are imploding their life. I look at it as not that big of a deal to me personally. But then again, my husband's not really into like what's happening. And it's, we just talk about some of the random facts.
You're very intelligent. Let me be clear, because I know your position on this case. You're a very intelligent woman. You research things. You're very logical. These females, like, I'm not trying to be rude. They're not that like deep.
They're not. They were like outside the courthouse and pink and shit. And like that to me is like, that's crazy.
So that's why these men should run, because they're not like that deep. They're not investigating it the way you get what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. They're just like, yeah, I think the husband did it. But secretly, it's two things. They hate men or they hate kids. That's really what it boils down to, I think. Unless you did a deep live like you, Mia. Like, when you listen to these women talk, like, I don't know, I'm going to play a clip so you can see what I'm saying. They're just not like even when Lisa Rinna said what she said, Patrick did it. She doesn't really know much about the case, but she's just like surface level saying that.
Well, I think, Patrick has he has attorneys around him. I would be careful, especially like Lisa Rinna, where maybe he could. Defamation is one of those slippery slopes, depending on what you say. I mean, it could obviously hurt him and hurt his character, especially from somebody who is famous, who has millions of followers. Maybe there might be a case there. I think some people need to watch out, like, what they say, per se, because, he don't mind suing a motherfucker, and he's got the money to sue. So I think people need to kind of step back from that. He has the money to sue. He don't mind suing. We already know that, because, there is civil litigation going on, and obviously that costs money to do. So, people also kind of like need to step back a little bit. It's one thing to be like, I'm of the persuasion of the state of Massachusetts did not prove to me, because I can't speak for anybody else, beyond a reasonable doubt that the facts that they presented were solid and cohesive and in a linear line. I think Lindsay Clancy, if she killed her children and she admits to killing her children, she should go to prison. If the state of Massachusetts decides that it's insanity and she goes to a mental hospital, I'm not on the jury. Like, it is what it is. But I think people are getting like way too invested.
ABG, you are in the legal industry, and I know you work for a law firm. I know you've been following the case closely. If you were a juror, what would your decision be?
Probably put her in an asylum for till the end of times. Guilty 100% on all counts.
Well, now they've presented manslaughter, first degree, and second degree as an option. Would you go the manslaughter route, the first degree route, or the second degree route?
First degree. Yeah. I don't think the evidence points to any other ruling. I mean, it's pretty clear that she did it directly in my eyes. That said, you know, that apparently there's this 911 call. Obviously, I'd love to hear that. But considering that her defense team has basically said, yeah, she did it. She was just, you know, off of her rocker. I don't really see any other way that the jury is going to decide. And they're probably going to want to put her in an asylum as well, because they won't want to see a woman that's supposedly that disturbed put into Gen Pop. Right.
Kamal, what would your decision be? You've heard it now for 3 weeks in a row. Mia's done a great job breaking it down, so you can't say you're not knowledgeable. So shout out to what are we calling it? True Crime Wednesdays with Mia hosting. What would your decision be at this point?
I mean, if y'all been watching, y'all know my decision. You feel me? Throw that hoe under the jail. Let goddamn Patrick have handcuffs next to her, because I think he in cahoots too. F all this bullshit. No mercy for that shit. They don't give mercy for us. If you know what I'm talking about. Us of a certain hue, we don't never get no goddamn mercy. Throw that broad under the damn jail, killing them kids. Why don't people care about kids no more? I don't understand this shit. Nobody give a damn about the kids, right? This shit is horse shit. But I will say, right? In AVG, I don't know if you fundraise and stuff like that, but if I ever need some fundraising, I need a white woman behind my back. Y'all raise funds incredibly well. Jesus Christ.
I've been told.
God damn, y'all
I mostly
raise
do
some
volunteer
funds.
work.
But yeah, I wouldn't put her in a sane asylum just because I am tired of excuses for people when across the board. No, if it's gonna be excuses, I want it across the board. If not, nobody get excuses. Throw all these motherfuckers under the damn jail, especially when they dealing with the kids.
Well,
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah. Oh, well, guys, just so you guys know, they wrapped up closing arguments today. The jurors were sent home. They come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. I think by the end of day tomorrow, we will have a decision. Mia will be doing a live stream whenever that comes, telling you guys what the decision is. So more to come on that. We're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about the other big trial of the day, guys. And we've been streaming it. So if you guys definitely want to come check out our streams, we are, oh, whoops, hold on, I'll fix that. But we are covering the trials. So definitely Monday, we will be doing the closing arguments for the Tupac trial. So we're going to catch you up to speed today and get our panel's opinion on it. In this first clip, it was pretty interesting because some people don't want to testify. Let me play this intro clip that sums up the Tupac case.
1996, Tupac Shakur came to Las Vegas to attend a Mike Tyson fight. After the fight, Tupac, along with Suge Knight, Trayvon Lane, and other people that were with that group, ran into a person named Orlando Anderson. And Orlando Anderson is the defendant's nephew. And when they encountered Orlando Anderson sitting by himself, they attacked him. And that attack was captured on video. Then, a few hours later, Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight drive down Flamingo Road to Club 662 where Tupac is scheduled to perform at a concert. Then 2.5 hours later, after Tupac and Suge engaged in the beating of Orlando Anderson, they are gunned down. Tupac is gunned down in a drive-by shooting from a white Cadillac in an act of revenge. During those 2.5 hours, you will learn that the defendant was escalating and planning the retribution for the beating of his beloved nephew. Now, let's be clear. Duane Davis did not pull the trigger. But what he did do was plan the retaliation for the beating of his nephew. You will learn that Duane Davis got the gun. You will learn that he got into a white Cadillac. You will learn when the opportunity presented itself for retribution, Duane Davis made sure that the shooters were armed and ready to execute their revenge. And remarkably, you will learn that from Duane Davis himself.
We have some
But
major
to understand what happened on September 7th, 1996, on the streets of Las Vegas, we need to go about 275 miles west to the city of Compton, California. What you'll learn is that Compton is about 10 square miles. But in the mid-1990s, those 10 square miles were occupied by over 30 gangs claiming its territory. And important to this case, there are two gangs, Mob Piru and the Southside Compton Crips. Let's talk a little bit about the Mob Piru.
All right. So, Mr. West Coast himself, Kamal, what's your thoughts on the Tupac Keefe D trial?
I think that nigga Keefe D was in cahoots with the police. There's a secret police tape out there. It's been known that, you know, the people within a certain category, the feds, were in cahoots of killing Tupac, from what I heard, allegedly. I don't want to get Tasha K, y'all. Yeah, that's what I think. And there's a tape out there. Yeah, they whooped Orlando Brown's ass. I seen that ass whooping. It was whew. But the reason why people are saying that Duane Keefe was in cahoots with the feds to do this to Tupac, because back in the day, Vegas during that time, during the Tyson fight, there's no way a car getting away through all that damn traffic on that street. Ain't no goddamn way. Unless they had the right of passage, you know, the feds is like, come on this way. Here we go. Come this way. Yep.
That's valid.
So that's what I think. But I will say allegedly, because I know, you know, we ain't trying to get sued for defamation and shit. So,
well, allegedly, there's another celebrity attached to this. I'll say the name after. But in this clip right here, this was a hostile witness. He did not want to testify. Let me play it.
task force specifically for the Biggie Smalls murder.
That's correct.
And you are aware at some point he's removed from that task force, right?
Yes.
And one of the things he does is he steals the Tupac file.
I object to the word steals.
I'm sorry, he borrowed.
I don't mean in like a legal sense I object. This is a person I object to. I'm not raising an objection. I take issue with the word steal. Any detective can take case files with them when they leave the department. It happens all the time. It's extremely common. In fact, I just did a series on Bundy last year based on the same exact thing. One of the lead detectives on the Bundy case in the 70s took a box of files with him, and we were able to obtain those files, and we made a show about Ted Bundy based on those files.
Are you a detective, sir?
No.
So you can't sit here and tell us what a detective can and cannot do. Fair? You're not a detective.
Like legally, I can't say that. I can say based on my experience as a true crime producer for the past 20 years, it's very common in my line of work to come across files that detectives have taken home.
Main character?
So I want to make sure I'm clear. You're telling us that Detective Kadeen took a file that he wasn't even part of the investigation on?
Thank you.
You're saying that's what happened here?
Well, Judge, I assume with fact, not evidence.
No, I think he mentioned that, Judge.
What do you mean? He took a file that was not a case, he didn't work?
Yes.
As soon as Keefe confessed to the Tupac's murder, that they took ownership of that case. And again, you're going to have to ask him that question because I was not there for that.
Why are you answering for him?
So, once again, that's something you're saying that Greg Kading should come here and testify to.
If he wants to, sure.
And once again, based upon your research of this file for the 2 years prior to the documentary or the project that you were working on.
Murder rap, yes.
You learned, of course, that Greg Kading was basically had issues with credibility.
Objection, Judge. We approach.
Yep.
Are you a detective? Well, I'm a producer. What in the main character syndrome is this shit? I object. He stole it. I object. He didn't. I object to that. What in the main character syndrome is this shit?
Okay, I can't take that girl anymore. So, pretty much, long story short, that guy, Michael Dorsey, is a documentary filmmaker. I'll play the hostile witness next. I got the clips confused. But pretty much, he directed the 2015 documentary Murder Rap. And which was built around a retired LAPD detective's investigation and included audio from Mia, you playing stuff, we can hear it. Anyways, you gotta have yourself muted. Death Row Chronicles also came out. He helped craft questions for Davis's first major public interviews. He listened from another room. And so the whole thing is, where are those tapes? Dorsey's recordings of the 2017 interviews were played for the jury. He also testified about the interviews were conducted, about how Davis was going public despite knowing the statements could be used against him. I guess Davis is Keefe D, right? Kamal? I'm assuming that must be his real name. Yeah. So, so in short, like basically, I guess they're interviewing him about the interviews that he did for Davis, and that's the relevance to it. AVG, have you been keeping up with this case? What's your thoughts on everything?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was going to sneeze. My apologies. I was going to put that on mute, but timing didn't work out in my favor. Yeah, so I think there's a bunch of interviews and public speaking attendances that he has done that are particularly incriminating, specifically the 2008 police interview. He's got a lot of stuff out there that basically puts him in that car at the time. I know Orlando passed in 1998, so we don't have the benefit of really corroborating with that. And I understand too, it's an old case. It's just that the evidence wasn't able to be examined at the time of Tupac's actual unalivement. What is really interesting, and I'm not going to say the name because I know you want to mention it, is that there's allegations that he's been paid off by a really high-profile celebrity to get Tupac and to also get this other guy, Sujay Knight. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Yeah. Clip it and ship it.
Damn.
Clip it and ship it.
AVG's so sweet. But she keeps up with things. But she keeps up. She tries. And at least she's not faking. You know, I appreciate AVG.
It's impossible for me to fake things.
You can say AVG. You can say his name. You could say the connection to
Diddy.
I mean, Slim was supposed to come tonight. I'm mad at Slim, but Slim really feels strongly that Diddy is never going to see the light of day. That once Keefe D is now prosecuted, this is the nail in the coffin for him, because now they will have Keefe D. Maybe they will try to work with him in some way to reduce the sentence. What's your thoughts, Mia? You like going down these rabbit holes. What do you think?
I mean, I am not shocked at all if Diddy is in this, if he paid, if he greased the wheels. I mean, you get to be a certain level of celebrity in certain circles where you have no choice but to work with the feds, right? Like, in order to keep yourself alive. So it wouldn't shock me if Diddy and the federal government were in cahoots when it comes to eliminating competition. Because if you notice, whoever's the last man standing, cheaters always win. Nobody who plays the game correctly and appropriately ever wins. If you were the last man standing, it's because you cheated somehow. And I mean, Diddy's one of the last men standing. Him, Jay-Z. I mean, after Tupac and Biggie were both unalived, I mean, it helped out a lot of people. It really slimmed the herd down, and then we ended up with like basically 3 that stood at the top. You know, you had Dre and his crew on the West Coast. You had Jay-Z and Diddy, who have tentative almost truce between the two of them because they kind of branched out in different ways. But once they were dead, it really thinned out the herd and left like the 3 there to control like the rap game of sorts. So they're all probably working together. I mean, I hate to say it because, you know, I don't like the saying, oh, well, somebody's death made somebody else's life easier, but that's kind of the truth. Like once those 2 were dead, it made everybody else's, all the players on the board's lives easier. So they were all probably in cahoots together, whether they admit it or not.
I think, I think that this is going to be the nail in the coffin for Diddy. I think that once they get Keefe D prosecuted, they're going to then go after Diddy next. Because I think Keefe D might talk. He might want to get moved. He might say, you know what, I did it. Can we work out a deal? But I don't know. But this one witness, guys, this is the clip I want to play. He did not want to testify. Here we go.
Today between attorneys and witnesses. James McDonald, also known as Mob James, announcing that he should be treated as a hostile witness, reiterating several times that he did not want to testify, but was forced to because of a subpoena. Now, he did speak about the tensions back in 1996, especially Compton after the murder of Tupac Shakur. And at one point, he addressed Davis directly.
The next question I'm asking you is, when you went back to Compton, was it like a Southside Crip that shoots a Pyro Blood, and then a Pyro Blood shoots a Southside Crip? Is that the tension that we're talking about?
Do I answer this? When we got back to Compton,
okay,
it was a gang war.
But my question to you,
Stop.
Can you focus on me for a second, sir?
Yeah, I will. Talk to your lawyer, man. This dude is tripping.
You're blaming it on me.
You asking me questions. If I just like answer your questions, we gonna have a problem in here, a misunderstanding. And you're asking me something that wouldn't be good for him.
Just so you guys know, that was a former Death Row Records bodyguard. Clearly, he was talking to Keefe D. There were moments that Keefe D was talking in the trial. It was a very interesting case, to say the least. Kamal, what do you think about the talking? Why do you think he didn't want to testify? Do you think he was worried about breaking code? Do you think he was worried about his safety? What do you think?
I know a scared nigga when I see one. Bro was scared. Bro was scared. That he is fearing right now. That is the man that had the fear of God put in him. He is like, I don't want to say nothing about this because he knows he probably gonna end up dead, allegedly, if he talk about it. Sad to say, right? I will say this. To me, a point. I feel that Tupac was the least tame out of everybody, right? So that's why I think they had to be like, oh, we got to get rid of bruh, but then we got to get rid of Biggie too, so it make it seem evened out. I think it was all calculated because I think Biggie and Pac was the least tame out of all the people we named. They all was compromised, I feel like, right? So at the end of the day, though, that brother was scared, and that lawyer was putting him in a compromising position. So,
I mean, that's valid. I mean, gang members, what's like the number one motto? Blood in, blood out. I mean, you bled to get in, you got to bleed to get out. And even though he's an old head now, I mean, I'm sure he's going to leave his house at some point in time. And if they want to, they'll get him. Could be on the way to a grocery store, gas station, something innocuous. So he definitely looked afraid.
Doesn't even need to be him. Gangs are frequently known for targeting other members of the family and leveraging them as collateral. I mean, if he is involved in that activity, he's never truly out, as Samia pointed out. And yeah, I could see why he'd be hesitant to testify.
Yeah, and Suge Knight is still alive. So Suge Knight probably knows the ins and outs because he was his employee. Yeah. All right, guys. Guilty, not guilty. Let's go around the room. Guilty, not guilty. ABG, what's your prediction?
I think guilty based on what he said publicly about the case and the fact that most of the evidence does put him in the car. Now, the allegation is that Orlando was the shooter, right? So obviously he's not going to get the full brunt of the law, but I think probably guilty.
Kamal, Mr. West Coast, guilty, not guilty.
Hold on, ask Mia first. I'm trying to find a certain sound effect. Ask Mia.
I'm gonna say guilty because even if he wasn't the shooter, you're in the car. You're guilty by association. You were a co-conspirator. You're still guilty. And obviously, we'll never really know because half the people that were in that car are dead. So I mean, guilty.
I'm going to say guilty because I went to the Diddy trial. And when the feds have their teeth in you, they're going to get you somehow. And this is their way to really get him. Once they get him on this murder for hire, he's done. He's in prison for life. That's where I think they're going to get Diddy, this murder for hire trial. They're going to get Keefe D to turn on him and give some sort of facts and testify and say he paid him. He didn't pay him necessarily to do it, but he paid Orlando, like you guys said, to do it. And he was witness to it. That's what I think is going to happen next. They have Diddy right where they want him, and he's never getting out of prison. Never, ever. All right, Kamal, what do you think?
I found it. I got y'all. Y'all want my answer? Here it goes.
That motherfucker's guilty. That motherfucker's guilty.
Guilty.
Motherfucker's guilty. That motherfucker's guilty.
Yeah. Guilty as hell. God damn. Throw him under the jail with Lindsay Clancy and her.
With you know who could go visit them?
That's a
What
banger.
is it? You called it what? Sujay Knight.
Yeah,
That sounded so fancy. I'm gonna call him Sujay from now on. That sounded so fancy. I love that.
You know who needs to be there with them? Dre. He another one. He done did some things to get. Yeah. He done did some things to get to where he's at. Diddy's the focus right now, guys. But the dominoes are going to fall. I think after Diddy is going to be Jay-Z, allegedly. He gonna be next. Everybody came for me and they suppressed my video when I talked about how they're coming after him next. It did pretty well. It should have got 1 million on Instagram, but we got to 100,000 and they were going crazy.
Damn, you don't want the Jay-Z Knights to go after you, Nora. They a whole different crew, man. They like
Beehive.
The LeBron, they are like the Beehive for real. Damn, but you said Dre. I don't know. I'm gonna plead a Dr. Fauci fifth on that. You know? I don't know about that. Actually, Nora, why do you think Dre though? I do want to know.
He beat up a woman so bad she lost her hearing. Allegedly,
she lost her what?
Hearing. Her hearing. She can't hear. Allegedly. Y'all go research all that. Y'all go research
smack
that.
both ears.
Y'all go research
time?
that.
I can help you find pretty much any topic.
See, Alexa, they listen it. Alexa off. But
He did the symbols move, like, you know.
Well, what is it? Dre's first baby's mother of his first son. She said that he was extremely physically abusive. This would have been back. This would have been back in the 80s when he was starting to really blow up.
Yes.
She provided those backup vocals for him, and that's how they met. Because she provided the backup vocals, and I think she's the mother of his first son, and she said he beat the fuck out of her. Allegedly beat the crap out of her. He also allegedly attacked a female writer for a popular magazine back then. I can't think of the name of the magazine, but back then she was a very well-known female magazine writer. And she had met him at a party, and I think he attacked her. I mean, he has a pretty noted history. And then his most recent divorce, I think she alluded to marital issues on the domestic violence spectrum.
Yeah, Nicole Young. I remember that story. That's a long time ago, it feels like.
Maybe not death. Wait, I think I'm thinking about Wesley Snipes allegedly with Halle Berry, but he is violent and he was nasty. Yeah, like I'm serious. Like Dr. Dre is not a nice person. Like he's really not. Like honestly. And it's not just things he's done to women. I truly believe you don't get to that level of success without a few bodies. That's all I'm going to say. Allegedly, it's what I think. Allegedly.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Well, Mia, you need to cover The Preacher's Wife. That's a very sad documentary.
Oh my God.
You need to cover that next.
I'm gonna have to. I'll probably do it next week. I'm off. I have a couple days off before Wednesday. But yeah, I don't really know anything about it. I just started seeing it like trending on TikTok, and I watched a video, and just like this girl was narrating some of the things that happened to her, like when she was still alive, like with her husband or whatever. And I was like, this man is crazy. This is crazy. I couldn't have. That's why I'm not religious. There's no amount of
Really?
abuse I'm gonna take for the Lord to be married to somebody like that.
Do you know the case, AVG?
No, I don't. But I mean, generally, like I go to an Orthodox church. Generally, the idea is like if you have a problem like that with your husband, that you can go to the priest. Like if your husband's
he was the priest, girl. He was the priest. He was the head pastor.
Yeah.
And he was over the congregation, and the other senior pastor found out things, and she tried to get him unplatformed. I don't know I go to church, but I don't.
Removed. Like he'll be removed.
Mm-hmm.
As clergy.
Yeah, and the elders were like, "Oh well, according to the documents, nothing we can do."
Well, that's what I mean. Is like usually the priest has a priest. Like my priest has a spiritual father as well, and he can go to them. But you're telling me that they disregarded it. That's kind of messed up. What religion was it?
I think it's non-denominational. But like for example, when I went to a non-denominational church, my pastor had a bishop that he was under. So usually you have a bishop. So I think it's all how they write the documents. But I honestly think he should not get 501. Like he should not be tax exempt with these allegations. He should never be allowed to have a church in his name. I mean, I don't think, well, Mia will probably do her investigation, but I don't think he caused her to kill herself. I don't think he killed her. I think she unalived herself. Let me be clear. But he drove her to it. And it was a terrible, terrible things.
Y'all talk about like some shit that going on social media, or this also like on Netflix or something?
It's a new Netflix show called The Preacher's Wife. It's very devastating. It's very disheartening. It's the saddest thing I've seen in a long time. It was the grossest thing I've seen in a long time. It's why these women are out supporting Lindsay Clancy. That was the revelation. I said, I see. I'm not gonna lie. For 2 minutes, it said maybe Lindsay Clancy's husband did do it. That's what I was thinking after watching that. I was like, man, maybe I'm changing my position. I'm just kidding. I wasn't, but it was a very emotional case. Very, very sad.
Yeah,
We'll cover it.
I got a different spin on it, y'all. I don't think it's Lindsay Clancy at this point. I think it's her dog Frodo. They can't find the dog.
Yeah, Frodo
the dog
that
was
left.
in her head
Frodo
like Son of
Baggins.
Sam.
He left. He took off back to the Shire. He hopped across the border to where I live, back to the Shire. He's probably in my backyard, hanging out with my dogs. But no,
I don't have Netflix actually. I haven't had Netflix in a long time because I found like a lot of the content that they put out is just nowhere near what it used to be, and they don't allow password sharing. Like I have an elderly father. I like to share my streaming service with him, so we switched to one. We have like Crave in Canada. That's what we went to, and they have like all of the like semi-new Sony movies. Shameless plug. I mean, I'm not sponsored, but Crave, if you want to sponsor me, I'll be happy to accept the sponsorship. But yeah, they do occasionally. Netflix has some really well produced documentaries and shows. It's just I don't find it today to be worth the money. But that's interesting. I'm sure. I mean, I could activate it again for 1 month just to watch that. I don't mind true crime. I like watching it.
You don't need to activate it. Come watch Mia's show on Wednesday. Mia's gonna break it down. You could save your coins because I'm sure Mia's gonna find what they didn't talk about. But this is the case. Ooh, whoops. Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it. He was
Yeah.
stalking somebody too, or he was
The
stalking his. Oh, the wife. Okay.
He was a creeper, and he was terrible what he did to that lady. It was very, very sad.
Some of the stories that like her friends were telling about what had happened, what she had allegedly had gone through was terrible. Like I felt so bad. I watched this one clip, and I'll just throw it out there because I watched this one clip where her friend was describing how this man would force his wife like into the car. They would drive down to like downtown. They would find like transient homeless people, and they would force her to participate in unseemly things with homeless people. And she obviously,
and he would finish on her. You got to put that line in there.
I didn't want to say it like that, but
no,
yeah.
you got to put it. You got to put it. You got to say everything. I'm not trying to freak you guys out, but I got to give you how sick this guy was. And this was a pastor. This was a pastor.
She was torn because obviously she is deeply, she herself is like, it's diabolical because she herself is like super deeply religious. And obviously, you know, being a pastor's wife, you're in that life. It's very insulated. Everybody you're around is part of the congregation or like attached to that, you know, faith of some sort. So she's having to deal with all of this. I could only imagine he was probably a monster at home. This is just the stuff that she's disclosed. There might be other things that she was too ashamed to even say out loud that had happened to her. This is just the stuff that
you're
she
forgetting
told.
you didn't see all of it. The other thing he did was he would want relations 4 or 5 times a day. So much so he made her get on testosterone. She was the worship leader for the church and she lost her voice because of the testosterone. And it gets even worse. If she would deny him relations, he would make her not sleep at night. He would go and mess with the lights so she couldn't sleep until she gave in.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
And some of his sermons. So some of the sermons that some people had like clipped were super weird and diabolical too. They were like, he was like talking about angels coming down and like basically insinuating like women have to, you know, service their husbands because it was super weird, super seedy, super weird. I mean, it's not a church that I would go to. I would have listened to about 10 minutes and been like, I'm out this bitch. This is
As someone who is a devout Christian that goes to church most Sundays, he is not someone that I would have shepherd me. I would have seen right through him. I'm sorry. Go ahead, ABG, because I know you're Orthodox.
Yeah. So a few points. Number one, the like predator homeless person stuff. What in the freaking Paul Bernardo, Carla Homolka is that? That's downright evil. Number two, putting your wife on testosterone, which has devastating effects, is next level messed up, bordering on like T stuff, which I don't support, and like forcing somebody to do that. That's totally messed up. But in terms of like him requiring her to, you know, do her marital duty, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, you know, hate me or love me. I honestly think that if you're in a marriage, that there is an obligation for you to have relations with your spouse. It's, you know, been proven to increase connection. And in Orthodoxy, it's actually a mandated part that you're supposed to have that romantic, intimate connection. You're supposed to do the boot knocking, you know, when your partner wants it.
5 times a day, ABG?
Hey, you know, if he's really good in the sex, like what's there to complain about, you know? Does he have bad
What
hygiene?
about with homeless people? Is it required to do it with homeless people too? I just want to understand. Okay.
Obviously not. Like I said, I condemn that part of it. That's messed up. But a husband that wants his wife to go down on him or to do a bit of boot knocking in the afternoon, evening, morning, and maybe once in the midday, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that that's something you should do. And if you don't want to do that with your husband, I have a bigger question for you. Do you even love this person? Why are you married to them if you're not romantically into it and you don't want to smash that thing? Okay.
Well, there are people that have exless marriages. And now that I do think is a problem, but 4 or 5 times a day, come on now. Now he has an ex addiction at that point and he needs to go and get help.
Well, I think, I guess like the biggest thing for me isn't even so much the 4 or 5 times a day. It's the fact that if she says no, she is tortured. It's sleep deprivation. She's tortured for saying no. That part to me is like the biggest, craziest thing. So like, you know, it took forever for women to be able to even get the courts to recognize that they can be raped by their husbands. And it's just
And-
so, I mean,
and
like,
the thing
that's
is,
so
the
crazy
worst
to
part
me
about
to
it
torture
is
someone
Mia.
just for saying no.
He would still cheat on her, to answer Ray Ray's question, right, Mia? He would still cheat on her. He ended up cheating with someone in the church. And the crazy thing is, he was stalking her while he was cheating on her with the chick in the church. Make it make sense, guys.
He's obviously a disturbed man. I mean, they're going and like preying on homeless people. But I just want to say, you know, for the 4 to 5 times a day, I can get behind the man on that. But everything else, I'm gonna throw out. That's just messed up. Okay.
I have a
Yeah.
question. So y'all said this man went with his wife to the homeless spot of the area he was at, and he let the homeless people give his wife a money shot?
Yes. That's what she told her friends.
It's messed up.
Very interesting. Going to homeless people for the money shot. That's crazy.
And I'm gonna be honest, like, he don't look like he's anything. I don't know. I'm not sure what state they're from. I don't know if they're like from Alabama or someplace.
South Carolina.
He don't really look like anything special. Not something 5 times a day special. I mean, it'd be different if he was like, if he had a 6-pack you can grate cheese on. I mean, that'd be different. It'd be like, we knocking boots.
Is in the eye of the beholder, okay?
Not if you want it 5 times a day and you're gonna torture me if I say no. You better look like it should be done 5 times a day. You don't even be looking like that. But you say South Carolina, I've seen some of the people down there. I'm not surprised.
He also targeted her. He knew this girl from when she was 13 years old. She ended up getting married to her 18-year-old boyfriend. And then he started grooming her to have an affair with him while he was married to his wife of 5 kids. They end up leaving their spouses for each other. And then he forces her to get implants. She goes crazy. He admits her into a psych ward. And yeah. I mean,
wait a minute, Nora.
I agree with you, but something was wrong with this guy, though. Like,
yeah, obviously. But I don't think that, I think we need to normalize that, you know, you don't just, after you've been married to somebody for some time, just stop giving them the nookie. Like, I think you need to have a healthy sex life. And I don't think it's unreasonable for a partner to want an intimate connection with their spouse, not with the homeless people, just the spouse, to be clear, within the sanctity of marriage. Okay. I think it's fine.
Wait a minute. You said this woman left her spouse to be with this preacher bro, and preacher bro left his spouse?
And the guy, the boyfriend, you got to see Mia, you got to find the picture of the other guy. I can't find it. If I find it, I'll send it to you. Her first guy was such a cutie. He was such a sweet guy. Like, I'm like, why would you leave him for this schmuck? But I believe he was grooming her. I believe he coerced her.
I know why. Because he told her, look, you stay with this nigga, right? You ain't gonna have as much fun as you be with me. I'm gonna have you fucking a lot of homeless people. She was like, I'm intrigued.
Oh my God.
This shit is, oh my God,
Lord
excitement, finally, shit. She was like, the other guy was boring. He ain't never thought about bringing some homeless peen to me, right? God damn.
If I had to guess. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mia.
No, you're good.
If I had to guess, if they're in a religious community, he's a leader, he has some power, you know, there's like the whole cult leader, romanticism and stuff like that. I'm not calling like churches cults. I'm just saying there is that kind of, that magnanimous position of power can be very attractive to like younger ladies or older ones.
He threatened to take away her position, AD, because she was the worship leader for the church.
That's a mistake. Number one, she shouldn't be the worship leader. But yeah, who knows, right? Who knows what went behind the scenes? We really don't, right? Unless is it covered in the documentary? Yeah, she's a garden tool.
I don't know. Like, the thing is, there's a lot of holes for me. I feel like she was very secretive until she couldn't take the abuse anymore.
Well, I feel like that kind of makes sense though, right? Because she probably has like these multiple dueling like thoughts in her mind. Like, she's super religious, she's married, her husband's a pastor, right? Like one of the core foundations for religion, especially if you are legitimately religious, is to obey your husband. Obviously, to obey, you know, your pastor, your bishop, your minister, whatever you want to call them. Like those are people that you are taught foundationally to look up to listen to take their advice. So I can imagine she probably had like a lot of just dueling thoughts. Like on one hand, she has this man that treats her incredibly terribly, but he probably wasn't terrible 24/7 either. He probably did nice shit for her. Maybe it was a 50-50. And then he's also her religious leader. He's also kind of her boss. I'm sure if he pitched a fit and said, I don't want my wife doing this, she probably would have lost her job. I mean, there's probably many pathways that she was feeling stuck. I'm not surprised that she was very secretive, because who the hell are you all your friends are his friends. I mean, your entire life is this man in this church. So who is she going to tell if he's like, abusing her and torturing her? Not many people. And usually predators are very good at finding the perfect person and insulating them and removing them from their, support system and saying like, here's my support system. My support system's better. And next thing you know, maybe she is a little bit more away from her family, her people that she grew up with, maybe even her hometown if she had moved towns. Predators are very, very good at making it appear that they are doing it for you in your best interest, but really they're just a predator, and it's easier to devour you when you're not with your family and your support system.
Like me, I don't know if this case has gone to trial. I'd be curious to
October,
see
ABG, October.
October. Okay, yeah, I'd be curious to know what happens at the trial, because like it's very speculative at this point. Like by all means, for all we know, right? If we're gonna do like just speculation here, for all we know, she was down for all the freaky deaky evil crap, and then when he didn't give in to some kind of monetary or other demand within the context of the relationship, she's like, I'm gonna come forward with this. Like it could go either way. You don't know how complicit or not complicit she is until we actually hear the evidence.
And I want to be clear, he's not being tried for her unalivement. Her unalivement has been ruled a suicide. What he's being tried for is lying to the police. Like, because I guess he wasn't forthcoming about something. And then also like some sort of like mental coercion that could have led her to do it. Like they're not saying he did it, but the family thinks he did it.
I'll say this. He might be a man of God though. Because throughout this whole ordeal, he made this woman sleep with homeless motherfuckers. And we not hearing her have one VD at all. Nor this guy.
That's like, we don't need to know her medical history.
I mean, just the internet. We would have found out. I'm telling you that right now.
I'd be curious to know
maybe
why
that's
she did it.
What tipped her over is maybe she ended up with some sort of disease, and maybe that's what tipped her over to telling at least one or two friends about what's happening, potentially.
Could be. Damn, this shit crazy. Hey, white men, y'all gotta do better, man. Does he got a father in the household? Jesus
Let me tell you about the father. The father was a massive pastor as well, but he was found guilty for sleeping with prostitutes and taking his son to go sleep with prostitutes. So his father exposed him to all of this stuff.
That's messed up.
Far from the tree. God damn.
Yeah, there are like certain stories like this that make me thankful I am not religious.
Oh, don't knock
That
it just
made me
because there's a
thankful.
couple bad apples, like.
Oh no, I have an appreciation for religion. I personally am not religious, not like that, but I do have a great appreciation for it. For all religions, I don't.
In what sense? Like, do you value like the community, or what do you like?
I value the community, but I also value the fact that it's all relatively telling the same story. It's just gifts wrapped differently, and I value that part of it.
Like the reassurance, like part of it, or
no, literally the stories, like the ancient stories, the floods, all of it. Because if you go back, multiple religions tell similar stories of heroes and so on and so forth, whether it's mythology or not. And I can appreciate that because it all seems to be human need trying to find connection and meaning, and it's all wrapped differently in different ways. So
Do you
I
think
appreciate
that
it.
do you think there's any historical proof of it? Because there has been, like, they have discovered, for instance, they think they've discovered actual Noah's Ark.
Yes.
It's currently being I think it's a subject of an archaeological dig site. And I can appreciate, I've heard this actually little known fact about me. I was engaged to an atheist and I lived with an atheist man for 10 years of my life. Huge Carl Sagan guy. And what's funny to me is this whole sense of needing to find an explanation for things, and there being all of these fascinating things about the universe and the cosmos, for instance, which is one of Carl Sagan's main talking points. Also, Neil deGrasse Tyson is big on these talking points as well. When I find out all of this stuff about the universe, like the fact that there's dark matter and black holes might actually swallow universes and create like parallel universes and all that, I think that is fascinating. And to just think that some kind of cosmic accident is perplexing. To me, the more logical conclusion is there's a creator. Now, whether or not you think that's a white dude in the sky with a beard is, the point of kind of controversy with a lot of people. But I do generally think that the signs point to there being a higher power.
That's valid.
Yeah, and now most people then from there they think, okay, even if there is a higher power, why do I need to join a church? Well, depends on whether or not you subscribe to the teachings of the Bible. The Bible is, my priest always tells us, makes it very clear that you need to be part of that community and have some kind of shared collective responsibility for your actions. So, and Hugh, not trying to get an apologetics debate, just trying to, give a little plug for Christianity,
You have to evangelize. It's required. You don't need to force it, but yes, good. That was a nice way of explaining it, AVG. Yeah, we do talk about religion on the podcast, AVG. We've done a few shows. I've had what do they call them? The Black Hebrew Israelites. I've had.
Captain. Did you talk about Captain Tajar Nanar? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's crazy.
We had a debate where our co-founder, he's not here tonight, debated a good friend of the show. He's a pastor, but I don't know if you like his content, AVG. He be going hard against the Orthodox and the Catholics. But
cool.
You talk about the one sassy?
No, our friend Alton.
I ain't never been Alton. I never been on.
Yes, you know Alton.
I thought you talk about the other sassy ass pastor.
No.
No, not the MAGA one, right? We're talking about
not MAGA, someone else. They debated on should we have education in schools. So it was a good debate we had. So yeah, we host debates on that. So yeah, we dabble in the religious talk. So it's good to have that.
Religious education, right,
religious
Nora?
Education,
yeah.
right.
Okay. Yeah. It was like obviously we need education in schools. Yeah. Yeah.
I do have one question about the preacher thing. Was his wife? Was she under any narcotics? Was she under?
He had her heavily on lithium. And the other thing that was messed up, guys, she got diagnosed with bipolar while she was with him, and he would withhold her meds. Poor woman. I mean, this is, I hear your point, ABG. Don't believe women. I believe this. This is the one time I'm going to say I sympathize for this person. I really think he was a disgusting human being. He's a predator in every sense. You know what? I'm gonna need you to go watch a documentary. Watch me inside, but also watch the documentary. It was terrible what he did to her.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that he has some responsibility. I'm just saying, we probably will want to see what happens in October, because that will determine whether or not there was some kind of shared interest in what they were carrying out, right? I don't like to just give her, the pass, because unfortunately the tragic thing has happened and she's gone. I like to also to remain open to the idea that, okay, maybe there was something else at play there. And hey, at the end of the day, the trial supports a conclusion that she wasn't, that she was his brainwashed, kind of like, what is it? Stockholm syndrome victim, right? I'll be willing to concede there. I am a very reasonable person. For those that know me. I know that I'm new to you guys, but
Yeah.
The sexual stuff didn't freak me out. Let me be clear. I didn't really get too moved by that. It was everything else he did to her. Do you get what I'm saying? Because how do we not know she didn't enjoy it? I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of women enjoy stuff like that. Like, unfortunately, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they enjoy it. So to be fair, what freaked me out was how he treated her when she left him, the stalking, the harassment, the abuse, the threats. That was really what made me feel bad for her. And the whole with the meds, what he did to her. Because if you withhold lithium from somebody and they've been taking it, it's painful. They can literally go through withdrawals. I mean, Mia probably can tell you.
Yeah,
I've heard.
lithium is no joke anyways. Lithium's not taking like a low dose, Zoloft. Like lithium's no joke. And then to be on it and then to withdraw off of it and then to potentially go into mania because now you don't have that like chemical control that your brain is needing in order to keep it stable. Like that's no good. He seems like
Yeah. All right, guys.
this is one of those. Hold on. I will say this is one of those times where religion really be pissing me off because if you apologize and you say sorry, you're supposed to be able to go to the good place. And I'm like, fuck you. Straight up. I'm like, screw that. I'm like, you're a piece of crap, dude. Like, you're a piece of crap.
Well, like there's a difference, right? You can, like, for instance, I have a very tumultuous relationship with my own mother, who's not, in my opinion, a very good person. And I could forgive her. Now that said, I'm not going to trust that woman. I'm not going to let that woman in my life. But like there is a Christian component of forgiveness. Does that mean that you have to like embrace that person and now let them around your family and, pretend like their shit all of a sudden doesn't stink? Absolutely not. But like holding hate in your heart isn't good for anybody, religious or not, It's not a good way to live. Plus, like, if the person's a piece of shit, why do you even care anyway? Just get them out of your mental, storage. Just remove them, expel them, right? I'd be happier for it.
True. Well, we're going to start closing thoughts, guys. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. AVG, thank you for coming. Let everybody know where they can find you and your closing thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm AVG, female debater, aka average female debater. I do social issues debates primarily on YouTube, but also on TikTok. You can also find me, in addition to my YouTube channel, on which is right there with the handle, on X. The only difference is instead of the ATE, it is the numeral 8. So follow me there for some updates. And hope you subscribe and like the show this evening. I'll be posting your link, Nora, in my chat so people can go follow you as well.
I will do the same. AVG, do you live in Canada? Because you mentioned Canada. I didn't want to cut you off earlier.
I do. Yeah, I'm a Canadian. I've lived all around Canada. I primarily now my job is civil litigation. I handle small claims court matters. And I've also worked in employment and labor law and human rights doing tribunal work. So that's what I do.
I'm obsessed with the Barbie and Ken case. I finally heard about it. Do you know the case I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the Paul Bernardo Carla Homolka case?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a psycho, and she's living free.
Yeah, that's they're our most famous, and they're actually from Scarborough, I believe, if you didn't know. So that's like near, most people know Toronto is like the biggest city in Canada. I think the GTA anyway is over millions. Fascinating case, occurred in the 90s. So, I mean, like I was born in 1990, so I was a kid when this was all going on, but we still talk about that case. And yeah, it is kind of messed up how he's behind bars and she's just free. She's just living her life. I think she's in a relationship now too.
She got married to the lawyer's son or friend or something, and she has 3 kids. Mia, you need to cover that case. Mia, that's another sick one. Write that down. Ken and Barbie, Canada. Maybe we bring AVG for that. That's
I'll come to that.
One. Oh,
yeah, I know that story. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do that, Mia. You gotta do that. What I'm telling you, Mia, that one is hot. That's a hot one. That's a sick one, Mia. Like,
well, is that the one that they were sexually assaulting women together?
Yes. And her sister was one of them.
Too. They drugged the ladies, and they would like bring them back to hotels and in other areas, get them intoxicated to the point where they were basically not able to comprehend what was going on, essay them, and eventually
Schmurder.
Paul would theorize that he would do most of the slashing and slicing and dicing. Sad.
Very sad.
That's so terrible. This has been a good episode. Oh my God, I'm going to have to make a list of all the stuff we have to cover now. But we're definitely going to cover that preacher's wife for sure. I'll cover that next Wednesday because obviously that's hot and I have access to Netflix. So I am definitely going to watch it and I'm definitely going to cover it. And I do need a laser pointer. Ray has a good point. I do need a laser pointer and I was actually have one in my Amazon bag and being ready to be purchased because I need the whiteboard. If I don't have the whiteboard, I'm never going to keep my thoughts organized. So I will be getting a laser pointer for the whiteboard and I will definitely cover the preacher's wife. This has been great. Thank you, AVG, for coming on. Hopefully we see you again. You can come hang out with us. This was wonderful. Sure. And I hope everybody has a good night.
Yes, thank you, AVG. Come on, what's your closing thoughts?
Man, shout out to AVG. We give air horns. Hold it together because we be having guests on here and they can't make it through the whole show. Shout out to you. This was a great episode. We touched a lot of topics. This is why we have range over here at the New Party, which y'all should be subscribing to. Hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. Hey, shout out to Ray for the gifts and stuff like that. You feel me? Shout out to everybody in the chat too. Y'all's really on topic today. Appreciate that. If y'all want to follow me on my end, you see it down below. Kamal Johnson on YouTube. You feel me? Yeah, the Keefe D thing, I think he was just in cahoots with the feds, allegedly. And yeah, I do believe what Mia is saying that Diddy, you feel me? Nor saying it too. Diddy, Sujay Knight, he might be on it too. All of them, you feel me? And I think the least tame out of everybody would have been like Tupac and Biggie. So they probably had to get them out of there for the music industry, right? Lindsay Clancy need to be thrown under the jail alongside with her boyfriend because I think most definitely they in cahoots. Believe it or not, I think they both in on it. And Patrick has a lot of goddamn connections within law enforcement and the judicial system. That's why I think Lindsay Clancy is going to probably get off because the goddamn prosecution is dog shit. And then the last thing we talked about was that the preacher shit. And goddamn, I'm gonna have to go watch that stuff on Netflix. And wow, man, he was making his woman suck homeless meat. That's crazy. Yeah, this was great though. Y'all go, like I said, go hit the goddamn sub of the New Party. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great ass weekend.
Please go support our team. Go support AVG. She was a wonderful guest. It's nice that we have international guests from Canada that have a new perspective. It's always good to have all perspectives. That's what the New Party represents. So I really appreciate her for coming. Thank you to Fatty for introducing me to her and allowing me to be on his panel. We do have a super debate coming September 8th. We're going to start promoting it between Fatty and Andre. It's going to be on African American or Black topics here in America, education, healthcare. They're going to be debating it. So hopefully we can get through it. That is the goal, right? That's the goal. Hopefully we can get through it. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting us. Please go support AVG, our guests. God bless, good night, and stay safe.
Sisters,
we shall not yield to tyranny.
Our cause just, we will prevail. The fight for our rights. Buffs, ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Bobby, at this point, history. Shame on you. Shame on you. Because we are being played as the American people. Our money is funding a war that we don't need to be in. We shouldn't be okay with it. So as long as I have breath in my body and a mic to use, I will be speaking out against this.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
The economy, we have a global economy. That's why we're a number one economy in the world. I know that a lot of people want to paint the horrible view of America, but, go live somewhere else and then tell me America's bad.
fascism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty. This is what
so
American
freaking crazy to me that we have an conflict with Iran before a single person from the Epstein files has been arrested on American soil.
The hour of our liberty is at hand. For freedom is bravo. Brothers
Yeah, I
and
was
sisters.
working, man, but it's good to see Rippy out there handling business, man. And again, hey, there's a lot of black Trump supporters, man. I mean, it feels good to see them, man. So
My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
A real coach. People are getting sick of it. The moment a celebrity steps slightly outside the leftist approved narrative, they get attacked. Chili from TLC gets heat over allegedly donating to Donald Trump.
For liberty. The British advance. We must act.
Our supplies are low, but morale is high.
Then we fight for liberty.
Paying to work captures the spirit of we fight for independence.
With
Welcome
people
to my
that said they were anti-war. I think they said no new wars. Yeah, they voted for a president that was not going to start any new wars. And what's funny to me is that not only were you lied to, not only did this man start this and get out of the
freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Just in order to get the Greater Israel Project accomplished, you have to kill people. That's why it's wrong. Killing people is wrong. Full stop. So you can try to make sense of it with, well, it's a threat and this and that. There's no greater threat than the United States empire.
Vocabulary up because I'm throwing out words like hubris, acquiesce, verbose. What are you going to do about the dichotomy of the nuance?
To the encampment. For liberty.
And what I've learned, and I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I voted for Trump the first time, but he's become a politician. He lies like all the other politicians. He deceives like all the other politicians.
And friendly. Soldiers, the enemy is near.
Not only do I love my FBA fam, my Black American fam, my Black people on code, my people that's allies with us as part of the fam. I love y'all. I love my country too. You feel me?
The cause to victory.
To victory. These pastries are wonderful.
Indeed, but we must stay vigilant.